Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and help us hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2024. Now, let's jump into the fascinating history of Egypt and Islam. Egypt's history in the Islamic world is rich, complex, and full of significant moments that shaped the region and the faith itself. To truly understand Egypt's role in the development of Islam, we need to look at the pivotal moments that made this country a cornerstone of Islamic civilization. It all started in 639 CE, just a few years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad. The first Muslim conquest of Egypt came under the leadership of Ammar ibn al-As, a companion of the Prophet. At the time, Egypt was part of the Byzantine Empire, and the Byzantine forces were weakened by years of conflict with the Sassanid Empire. Ammar's forces, although fewer in number, were able to take advantage of this weakness and conquer the Egyptian capital, Alexandria. The Egyptians, many of whom were Coptic Christians, welcomed the Muslim forces, not only for their promise of religious tolerance but also for the end of Byzantine rule. The conquest of Egypt marked the beginning of a long relationship between Egypt and Islam. Under Muslim rule, Egypt transitioned from a Byzantine province to a central part of the growing Islamic Caliphate. In the early years, the region's economy flourished, largely due to Egypt's fertile land along the Nile River, making it one of the most important agricultural regions of the Islamic world. This period also saw the construction of the city of Fustat, which would become the nucleus of future Islamic Cairo. Over the centuries, Egypt played a crucial role in the expansion and consolidation of Islam. By the 10th century, Egypt was under the control of the Fatimids, a Shia dynasty that claimed descent from the Prophet's daughter, Fatima. The Fatimids established Cairo as their capital, which would later become one of the most important cities in the Islamic world. Under their rule, Cairo saw a golden age of learning, trade, and architectural innovation. The city became a center of Islamic scholarship, attracting scholars from all over the Muslim world. The Fatimids built the famous Al-Azhar University, which remains one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in the world, today being a symbol of Sunni Islam despite the Shia origins of the Fatimid dynasty. But Egypt's history under Islamic rule was not always peaceful. In the 12th century, the Ayyubid dynasty, led by the famous military leader Saladin, took control of Egypt. Saladin is most renowned for his role in the Crusades, where he led the Muslim forces against the Crusaders, eventually recapturing Jerusalem in 1187. Saladin's reign in Egypt brought stability, and he worked to unify the Muslim world under his leadership. He established a new, stronger military presence in Egypt and made it the heart of the Ayyubid Empire, which spanned much of North Africa and the Levant. Following the fall of the Ayyubids, Egypt came under the rule of the Mamluks, a military caste that would dominate Egypt for several centuries. The Mamluks, originally enslaved soldiers brought from Central Asia, rose to power by overthrowing the Ayyubid dynasty in 1250. Despite their origins, the Mamluks went on to rule Egypt and Syria with impressive military strength. The Mamluks defended Egypt from both the Crusaders and the Mongols, securing Egypt's status as a powerful force in the Islamic world. The Mamluks also oversaw a cultural renaissance in Egypt. They funded the construction of magnificent mosques, schools, and hospitals, making Cairo one of the world's most vibrant centers of Islamic art and architecture. The Mamluk period is known for its beautiful Islamic buildings, including the famous Mosque of Muhammad Ali and the Citadel of Cairo, which was the political heart of the Mamluk regime. In the 16th century, Egypt's fate took another dramatic turn when it was absorbed into the Ottoman Empire. Under the Ottomans, Egypt remained an important province but gradually lost some of its autonomy. The Ottomans ruled Egypt for over 300 years, during which time they brought stability but also faced challenges from local leaders and foreign invaders. The Ottoman period saw the rise of Egypt's role as a hub for Islamic learning, culture, and trade in the Mediterranean world. However, by the 19th century, Egypt's decline was becoming evident. The Ottoman Empire was weakening, and European powers, especially the British and the French, were becoming increasingly involved in Egyptian affairs. This culminated in the French invasion of Egypt in 1798 under Napoleon Bonaparte. Though Napoleon's forces were defeated, the French occupation had a lasting impact on Egypt, particularly in the fields of science, culture, and military reform. After the French were expelled, Egypt was officially placed under British control in 1882, and British influence would shape much of the country's future. Despite the British occupation, Egypt maintained a strong Islamic identity. This period saw the rise of Islamic reform movements, as well as growing nationalist sentiment, which eventually led to Egypt's independence in 1952. Following independence, Egypt emerged as a modern Arab state, but its rich Islamic heritage continued to be a key part of its identity. The Al-Azhar University remained a major center of Islamic learning, and the country played a key role in the political and religious dynamics of the Arab world. Egypt's Islamic history is not just one of conquest and empires. It is also a history of vibrant culture, deep spirituality, and intellectual achievement. From the founding of Fustat to the modern-day role of Cairo as a center for Islamic scholarship and diplomacy, Egypt has always been a pivotal player in the history of Islam. It remains, to this day, a country where the legacy of Islam continues to shape every aspect of life, from its politics to its culture, to the daily lives of its people. So, as we look back on Egypt's long and storied history within Islam, we see a country that has been both a seat of power and a beacon of knowledge. Whether under the rule of the Caliphs, the Fatimids, the Mamluks, or the Ottomans, Egypt has always had an essential place in the Islamic world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history of Egypt in Islam, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so we can hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2024. See you in the next video.